It's the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report on Cool Gold 1460 with Dan the Boy Steicher and Billy Doc Niles, brought to you by Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores in Baraboo, Black River Falls, and Toma. By Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, and 3rd Street, downtown La Crosse. By Dean Satellite and Security, your local DirecTV retailer. By the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. By Dell's Raceway Park in Wisconsin Dells. By Weir's Machine and Racing Products in Bangor, Wisconsin. And by TJ's Long Shots Grill and Saloon in historic downtown West Salem. Now here's Doc and Dan with today's report.
Hi, race fans. It is Saturday. That means it's time for the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report right here on 1460 WBOG. Along with Billy Doc Niles, former late model driver to the Cross Speedway, I am the voice radio man, Dan Dykert. Thanks for joining us. And Mother Nature rains us out again. I mean, we're talking, 3 to 4 right now, 4 to 5. I'm going to have to start taking up knitting or something on Saturdays.
You know, if she played baseball, she'd have Hall of Fame numbers right now. This is just sickening.
No, she would get thrown at, and then you would have a big brawl like we saw this past week.
Yep. So, I don't know. This is just incredible. Just when it looked like we were going to have a good day, it starts clouding up during qualifying, and then right at the end of late model qualifying, you could feel the raindrops coming down, and they got the pre-show in, and that's as far as it went. We couldn't get any more in. It's too bad. Looked like we had, another great field of late models, 25 late models again for this Saturday night. So we'll try her again. For those who questioned it, we did talk with Chuck Deary for a few minutes. They are going to try and reschedule the Queen Bees. They possibly will schedule another double feature outside of this weekend and the two others scheduled. So stay tuned to the websites, Facebook, Twitter, and whatever things you follow Speedway on, and they'll get you caught up on everything that's going on.
Well, talking about dodging raindrops, I spent my Memorial Day Monday at Golden Sand Speedway in Plover, and had a nice chance to watch the super late models and the trucks and the super little tiny mini trucks. And what a race that was there. The raindrops came in. Harley Jankowski drove, and I've never hydroplaned before, and I now know what that feels like, especially with Harley, and I never want to do that again.
That's what you get for letting him drive.
While the rains were coming and going and coming and going, they run the super late model race. They had to can it short, though. They canned 6 minutes or 6 laps early with a red checkered because that track was getting lost pretty quick. So Ty Majeski goes out, and he wins the super late model race. Midwest truck features coming up, and as they're waiting to dry the track, Kelly Byers walks over and says, "Hey, Ty, you want to run my truck?" Because Byers had been in the heat race earlier tonight, and Ty had taken second. Ty says, "I'll run it in the feature," and goes out there and just whoops on everybody. Even through 5 restarts, said, "Man, these little trucks are fun." Had a chance to talk with Ty after the races were done, and he talked about the super late model race, the truck race, and some history he's chipping away at.
Ty, this has got to be probably one of the most Memorial days that you've had in your racing career, because there was more than just winning one race that you accomplished here on Memorial Day.
Yeah, I didn't expect to be racing the truck today. I was standing next to Kelly in the line to get in to sign in today, and he said, "Hey, I have my truck here. You want to drive it?" I said, "Sure, why not?" I'm not going to say no to that. He prepares great race trucks, and him and everybody at KBR Performance, I can't thank them enough for giving me the opportunity to run out here today. Obviously, the truck was on rails. They're a lot of fun to drive. You don't have to be quite as smooth as super late. You can really attack these things. They got 10-inch tires and not a lot of horsepower, so you can really attack them. It was a lot of fun out there.
Go back to the late model race today, and didn't even realize this is just one more off your checkboard of winning racetracks in the state of Wisconsin.
Yeah, coming into this weekend, there's 3 of them, and we won at Jefferson Saturday night and here twice today. So the last one's Slinger. We'll be back there maybe for a local show before Slinger Nationals, and then of course Slinger Nationals. We thought we had the car to win there 2 years in a row, so we're going to try and go back there and do the same thing, and hopefully it'll pan out for us.
You and Eugene had quite the 8 or 9 laps.
Yeah, that was an awesome race. He was racing me hard. I was racing him hard. It was definitely a classic short track battle. I respect the heck out of him. He gets around here really, really well. So to be able to beat him at his home track was pretty special.
And then a couple laps later, you're back out in the truck running pretty much the same line.
Yeah, the truck, you can kind of arc it out a little bit more because these things don't have a lot of horsepower, so it's a lot of momentum, kind of like the Saturday night cars at La Crosse, kind of the same thing. So I took some of what I know from running weekly at La Crosse and applied here today, and it seemed to work out pretty well.
So we already know what you're doing, super lates and lates. What's the future for trucks?
I really don't know. Like I said, I'm sure he's got some customers that he's got to attend to. That's why I drove it today. He had to help out a couple of others, and so I took some relief off of him. So anytime he wants me to drive it, I'll definitely come drive it.
And finally, going to Slinger now, I mean, obviously you're going to head into that one. You want to get that one. I mean, you don't know when you're going to be back to run Slinger again, so this could be a one-shot deal. When you look at nerves and things like that, when you head into a track that you can finally conquer, I mean, it's you have to play with you a little bit emotionally.
Yeah, I mean, we just got to look at it as another race. We'll definitely go out there and test a little bit. What's nice about Slinger Nationals is it's on a Tuesday, so no matter where I go in my career, chances are I'm going to be able to run that race on Tuesday. I know Matt Kenseth and Eric Jones, a lot of those guys have come up in the past, so it's definitely fun battling with them, and it's something I look to do as my career progresses as well.
So now Billy Doc Niles, the only track he has to conquer on a weekly asphalt basis is Slinger. They've got the Nationals there. They've got the Arctic Midwest Tour there. You've been around racing long enough. Who was the last driver to accomplish the feat that Tri's trying to do? Can you even remember?
Oh, I'm sure there's somebody that has. Yeah, you go back to the golden age of racing where, Trickle, Refner, Marzovka.
They were running 4 or 5
Sauter,
nights,
yeah,
too.
they're running 4 or 5 nights a week. They conquered every track possible. Ty, he's got 2 shots at this summer at a track that he hasn't won at yet. It's a bucket list time before he heads off to the big time. And let's face it, once he heads off to the big time, we're not going to see as much of him as we do now. So we're in the midst of watching something really special right here right now. I think it'd be really cool if he got it done in one of these 2 tries.
Of course, Ty won last Friday night. The Salute the Troops 100 at Jefferson came back and then won at Golden Sands on Monday, and then came out in Kelly Byers' truck and won that one as well. Also, the Vintage Series ran at Golden Sands. Congrats to Daryl Pash, the number 7, Bernie Fritz, and that really cool 33, and Roger Peterson in the 91. Also, Slinger had a Memorial Weekend special. I do want to mention Super Lates went to Dennis Prunty. Now, it was the Dick Trickle 99 at Golden Sands. All of the names were there. Talked to Marv Marzovka, talked to Tom Refner, and had a great conversation with his grandson, Colin Refner.
Momentous day when you look at Refner Racing. I was talking to Tom, and man, he was just watching you on the track every chance he had today. Feelings on running Memorial Day and the Dick Trickle 99 with all the other greats that were here.
Yeah, it's always special to come and run here, and especially being a race, in memory of Dick. I got to know Dick very well personally, and he helped me so much out, driving tip-wise in my career, and so a race in his name is near and dear to my heart. So it's always great to come out here and run a race in his name.
I think I asked you a couple of years ago, and it's been a couple of years since I think you and I have talked face to face. Tom still giving you little tips every now and then?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, we went over a couple weeks ago. Went over to Kaukauna for the first time ever that I've ever raced there. Been there to watch a lot of races, and he had things to tell me that from when the last time he was there, which is years ago. But some of those same things still apply, even though the tracks change a little bit. But there's still just a lot of basic things about getting around a track that really still apply. So I mean, it's always a big help having him.
Some different names running up here on Memorial Day. I mean, obviously you had Dalton was going to be here, Tom was going to be here, Eugene was going to be, but some other different names too. And I know when you and I talked in the past, you like mixing up with people that you don't race with a lot.
Yeah, definitely. There's some good guys. Majeski was here and Zaire was here, but Paul Payne came from Minnesota. He was running up there really fast. So yeah, it was good to run against some different guys that we normally don't get to run against. Brazen Bennett, normally he's run over in Slinger and Kaukauna, and today he was over here. So it's always cool to see those guys make the trip.
So what is you've been kind of quiet with Colin Refner Motorsports for 2017. What's the plan for you this year?
The main plan is kind of run the championship for the Tundra Series. And then we're just going to kind of pick up some specials here and there. Of course, we'll do Oktoberfest, and then we added this special in, and just kind of see how things go, money-wise, and just as long as we keep the fenders on the car and we got a good, strong car, we'll, maybe pick up a special here and there. But, main focus is the Tundra Series, and, the first race went pretty well, finishing 5th over at Kaukauna, so we'll keep on heading in that direction.
Why not, Lacrosse Speedway fans can't wait for that Tundra race in July?
Yeah, definitely. I'm pretty excited, too, because usually, that's my favorite track, and the only chance I get to go there is during Oktoberfest, so to get over there again and be able to hopefully run up front another chance this year will be really cool.
And it also gives you an advantage because the notes that you take from running Tundra at Lacrosse you can use for fast.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we always go and practice the week before Oktoberfest, and that definitely helps. We always need to do that going into Oktoberfest, especially with the competition there. But especially having getting to run a full race, not just practice before we go on to Oktoberfest, will be a huge thing for us. And so that'll be great going into Oktoberfest as well.
So again, congratulations, Ty Majeski. Again, I told his mom, if he keeps doing this, he's going to owe me some AA batteries for all the interviews I keep doing. And Colin Ruffner, I've been watching him grow up in front of our eyes here as long as I've been in the lacrosse area. Great to talk to him. Coming up in the next segment, we're going to talk some Minnesota invasion, and Billy Doc Niles is going to have a conversation with a guy. You better get used to his name, because if his budget fits, he's going to be here every single week. That and a whole lot more next on the WBOG Race Report.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
Jerry Beyer here, and I'm pleased to announce that we have opened a new location. Now you'll find our Big Boar Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and July Street every Wednesday through Sunday. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout.
And just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
Big Boar Barbecue, that's a mouthful.
In a hurry, it's easy to stop. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. You're gonna like the things we've got. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. It's easy to see when you're on the go. There's only one name you need to know.
Baraboo, Black River Falls, Nakusa, Toma, Wittenberg.
Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop.
Come on in. Welcome to JT's Long Shots in West Salem. We're Trisha and Jim.
It's your new sports bar for watching all your favorite sports. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, with $1.75 domestics and rails. For lunch or dinner, the kitchen is open. Half-price burgers on Mondays. Tuesday, it's bone or boneless wings. Fish tacos on Friday. Stop after the races tonight to hear live music. It's Joe Cody from 8 to midnight.
Jim and I'd love to see you at JT's Long Shots Sports Bar, downtown West Salem.
Here we go, back to the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report with Doc and Dan.
Once again, race fans, welcome back. The Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report right here in 1460 WBOG. It's Cool Gold. Also live on the internet and the TuneIn app on that little thing we call a smartphone.
Love that TuneIn app.
Something we've talked about, and again, thanks to Ty Majeski and Colin Ruffner for joining us to start off the program. At Lacrosse, even though we've only had one race in this year and a good batch of qualifying last weekend, we've seen this Minnesota invasion come about the past 2 years. Now, I'm not talking Mark Lambero years ago coming down from the cities. I'm talking the past year and 1.5 races this year, when you've got guys like Adam Oxborough and Jacob Gady, Devin Schmidt, the Neishes brothers were coming down, the Borchards have been coming down. You had a chance to talk to a guy that has been here since media day that could be here the entire season, which could put some pressure on the top three in the point standings.
Oh, most definitely. He had an impressive run the first week, came, within a whisker of passing Steve Carlson and maybe possibly winning the feature opening night.
And Ty was behind him. And
of course he was, yeah.
Ty gave him a little bit of a move.
Yep, but this Minnesota Vision you're talking about, we're going to be talking with Nick Panitsky here in a few minutes. We've got Jacob Gady that's been coming down. Devin Schmidt has moved into a late model. And it's possible some more could be coming down. Both Borchards made the trip the opening week. Things are changing up in the Twin Cities at the track there. They've eliminated the super late models. A lot of guys, some guys have converted their cars to run the limited late model schedule, the Big 8 type series. And some guys have decided they'd rather keep their super late model and pick their spots around, Wisconsin and Illinois, Iowa, and whenever Minnesota runs super late. So you got guys like Jacob Gady and Nick Paninsky who have decided they're going to try their wares here at La Crosse. And especially Paninsky, in his case, it looks like he may be sticking around here the rest of the season. Let's just give Nick a listen here and see what he has to say.
That's right. It is the familiar Black 22. Ray, you see him racing everywhere in the Midwest. Nick Paninsky. Nick, first of all, for the people listening around the country who don't know much about you, everybody in the Midwest knows about you. Tell them about your race career, how you got started, and what you've been up to.
Well, just like most, I started go-kart racing at the age of 9. Moved up to Thundercar division. 13, 14, ran that for a couple years and jumped right into late model. I've been racing late models ever since, so probably good 10, 11 years.
You spent a lot of time at Elko Speedway. Kind of a mixed bag of success there, I guess you'd say, wouldn't you?
Yeah, it's kind of tough to say. I mean, we run the Midwest Tour most of my late model career. Did some Tundra stuff. I just kind of went to Elko, kind of intermittently, and we had some good runs. We had some bad runs. If you're not in the Elko program week to week, it's kind of tough to just show up and run. But once you get establish your tire program and run a couple weeks in a row, you can set yourself up to have a pretty good run.
Now, before a couple of weeks ago, you've never run La Crosse other than Oktoberfest. Kind of a more laid-back feeling here when it comes to a weekly race.
Yeah, absolutely. I love coming here in the summer. I ran here in the Tundra Series a couple times in the June-July race. Love it. I mean, I love it here. So it fits my schedule. It fits my budget. Having a lot of fun doing it so far.
So do we expect to see you every week this year, or are you going to be doing some more traveling around? What's the season look like for you?
To be honest with you, I kind of take it week to week, one race at a time. We run all right tonight. Probably be back next week, and as long as the budget's okay, we're going to keep coming.
All right, now I did a little bit of Google searching on you before I popped the recorder here. What was it like to go down to Jefferson? Is that a track you've been to before, and then actually win the race?
Actually, that was my first time there, and to be honest with you, it doesn't actually sound that cool that I won the race. I started on the front row, and it was rain shortened, so really,
no, it counts as a win.
Okay, I'll take it either way it comes. But really, the car was really good that day, really good that night. Thought I had the car to win, and obviously we won it there with the rain shortened event.
Tell us who you got sponsoring that helps you get down here every week.
My car is actually pretty bare. I got my sponsors are guys that help out parts-wise, graphics-wise, Dan Fredrickson, Sign & Graphics, Great Steps, that's about it.
Speaking of Fredrickson, why don't you drag him down here for a Saturday night?
Yeah, I've been trying. He might be here tonight, sitting up in the grandstands.
All right, that's Nick Paninsky, driver of the familiar Black 22. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
So again, Nick Paninsky and Jacob Gady, two guys that could really shuffle at least the top 5 in points of the La Crosse Speedway this year. Gady with another good lap last weekend. And talking about laps, this is the second week in a row at La Crosse that he's been in that top 3-4 range. Definitely was going to make the 6-for-6 dash. As we're talking qualifying, week number 1, 12 drivers under 20 seconds, brand new tires. Now, last week, we had 10 drivers still under that 20-second range. Paninsky was on the outside looking in. Gady was right in the midst right there. And Tony leads with a 19.6. What is going on here?
Well,
and I'm not complaining.
No, but drivers who have got their tire programs figured out, what a lot of them do is they save one tire from the end of last year, keep that wrapped up all winter. And what they will do is they'll run 3 new tires and that one tire opening week, either on the left front or the right rear, depending on where it sizes up at. And then they will keep that tire and run it one more week, most likely, in the same spot. And then they've got their 6 tires all broke in. Now you've got 6 1-week tires. You can start cycling in your new tire every week.
Because the late models have to use 6, the sporties have to use 5.
Yep, and you got to use. In the first 2 weeks, you have to use all 6 tires at least once. So technically, nobody is, they used at least 3. Some used 4 on opening night. The second week, they got to use the rest of them up, and we still haven't had a second night yet, so they still got to run them. And like I said, the guys with the good tire programs, they've got a good tire they carried over from last year. They're on top of their game already, and that's why you're seeing these fast laps, because you got this really good tire with these 3 brand new ones, and they're blistering the track right now.
Sportsman-wise, what a way to end that one with Randy Humfeld and Brad Worthen tying identical speeds, identical times. And it took a little bit for the track officials to go, wait a minute, we do have a tie. We have to go on the first lap, and it went to Randy.
Yep, Humfeld just a touch faster than Worthen was. Impressive lap by both of them. What was it? I think it was a 21.4 or 21.3, something like that. Incredible lap by both of them. And, your top, I think it was your top 8 in qualifying for sportsmen that were all underneath that 22-second mark, which is pretty impressive. And young Sam Niles, his first night out, just missed getting under. I think he had like a 22.006 or something like that.
Which I don't blame him. He's got a brand new car, too, and that was the first time they'd actually had a chance to even get that thing on the racetrack. So, I kind of expected him not to have a favorable night.
I was just impressed with the lap he turned. Because they had very little qualifying. They had some problems, or very little practice. So to go out and to turn the lap he did, he said the car was loose all over the place. He gets that thing under him, he could be a top 5 force.
So again, I want to thank Nick Paninsky for joining us on the program, a name you're going to be hearing a lot more about, and like watching him out there with the lacrosse regulars, the Carlsons and the Degenhardts, the Powells. You're going to see it mix it up.
And you talk about the Minnesota invasion. If you get a chance to get on our YouTube channel for our TV show, Danny has a great series of interviews with three really good Minnesota drivers. Check that out when our Jesse, our producer, gets that put up on YouTube this week. Race fans, JT's Long Shots has your ticket to the Oktoberfest race weekend. Saturday nights after the races, stop in with your ticket stub, or your wristband. Sign it with your name and phone number and drop it in the box. This September, one lucky winner will receive 2 4-day passes to the Oktoberfest race weekend. That's JT's Long Shots in historic downtown West Salem.
All right, coming up next, we are going to get into our Team Dean segment, a late model driver from Jefferson that is friends with a guy named Casey Johnson and Dave Truitt. That should tell you something right off the bat. This guy is racing on the serious side. Cody Hubert's going to join us next on the 1460 Race Report.
Are you looking for comfort under the sun? You can find that and a whole lot more with your stay at the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. The Days Inn has 148 spacious rooms, an indoor pool, hot tub, fitness room, and plenty of banquet space to host that big meeting or wedding reception. If you're hungry, food and drink are just steps away at the Heroes Bar and Grill inside the hotel. So if you're planning a pool party, wedding reception, or just want a night away in a jacuzzi suite, Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island is your stop under the sun.
Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin. A proud supporter of the local racing, celebrating 20 years in the racing industry. From dirt tracks to asphalt, Weir's Machine manufactures over 400 quality parts that racers rely on to win races, producing some of the finest parts in the industry. Engine parts, tools, suspension parts, race accessories. Head to WeirsMachine.com to browse their entire line or call them direct. Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin.
Spring, spring, spring. Now that it's spring, no one wants to sit inside and watch TV with it so beautiful outside. And when you get DirecTV through Dean Satellite and Security, you don't have to. You can now take your TV with you into the great outdoors with the free mobile app from DirecTV. Going on a picnic? Take your TV with you. Sitting by the lake? Don't miss your favorite show. It's really that simple. Call your local friends at Dean Satellite and Security today at 608-269-2897 or visit them online at deanstv.com. Now get outside and watch your TV. Content, channels, and functionality varies by TV package, viewing location, and device. Data charges may apply. Conditions apply. Call for details.
Come on in. Welcome to JT's Long Shots in West Salem. We're Tricia and Jim.
It's your new sports bar for watching all your favorite sports. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, with $1.75 domestics and rails. For lunch or dinner, the kitchen is open. Half-price burgers on Mondays. Tuesday, it's bone or boneless wings. Fish tacos on Friday. Stop after the races tonight to hear live music. It's Joe Cody from 8 to midnight.
Jim and I'd love to see you at JT's Long Shots Sports Bar, downtown West Salem.
It's Team Dean time as the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report continues on Cool Gold 1460.
Welcome back, race fans. It's Saturday, and this is the Whitetail Crossing Community Stores Race Report here on 1460 WBO KOGO, also live on the internet and the TuneIn app on your smartphone.
Love that TuneIn app.
Well, this is the Team Dean's segment brought to you by Team Dean Satellite and Security. I am the radio man Dan Dyker along with Billy Doc Niles. Going to talk some late model racing right now with a gentleman that maybe not too familiar to these parts here in western Wisconsin, but after a rookie year in 2016 running a late model, Cody Hubert, a Team Dean's driver, looks to expand his experience and knowledge this year. He joins us as a Team Dean's driver. Cody, how are you, sir?
I'm good.
Hey, good to have you on the program, man. 2016, a rookie late model season is in the bag in your number 20 late model. Was it everything you dreamed of?
Well, at the beginning, I was kind of regretting letting Casey talk me into ever buying a late model.
Casey Johnson, of course.
Yeah, the learning curve was a lot more than what I thought I was getting into. But as we kept working on it, and I had to change my driving style so much. I'm used to the sports where you just pile it in the corner, grab the little wheel, and hammer on the gas and drive off, and the car just does its thing. And Casey spent about 3-4 weeks screaming at me that, I got to let the car do the work, and we worked on it, and towards the end of the year, we were pretty fast. We were in the top 5 almost every week for the last 2 months and picked up a feature win towards the end.
And it's a good time you got that first year in as well because for folks that don't know, Cody runs at Jefferson in the late model division. Expect 20, 25 late models each and every week. And that's a lot of late models for a track like Jefferson.
Yeah, it is. I mean, and it's not just 20, 25 guys, and all 20, 25 could win at any night. So, it's one of the places where you show up and you better be on your A game or you're going to be sitting in the last chance, even if, you did win the feature last week. So every week's really tough, and you really got to spend a lot of time in the shop during the week doing your homework and making sure you got everything good to go, or, like I said, you'll be missing the top 14.
It's and speaking of Jefferson, and for people who don't know Jefferson outside the Wisconsin and Midwest area, is not a track where you can set up to run one groove and just keep the car planted there. You got to be pretty good on both ends of the track.
Yeah, it's like 1 and 2 is flat, and it's really tight, and you kind of got to keep it on the bottom, and then you go into 3 and 4, and there's quite a bit of banking, and you run right around along the wall, and there's 3-4 grooves that you can play in. It's nothing to see guys go 3, sometimes 4 wide in other classes. The late models, they're starting to burn in the bottom where the hobby stocks and stuff run. So there's been a lot more 3 wide racing, and yeah, you pretty much got to have your car set up to run every square inch of that track, or you're going to be in trouble.
Another advantage you have running against that many late models and those big of names, you must gain a lot of experience when you drive against some of Wisconsin's best. I know here at the La Crosse Speedway, we talk to our late model drivers that are young guns all the time that run against Ty Majeski and Steve Carlson and Brad Powell and Adam Degenhardt. I mean, you're talking some fast names. Do you find that there are some drivers you run against you can learn from?
Yeah, Dale Nottestead and Casey Johnson are probably, 2 of the best guys to probably ever make laps at Jefferson. And yeah, Jason Erickson, and you think you got them guys covered one day, 2 laps you stay in front of them, and the next lap, just out of nowhere, they're inside of you. They wiggle you just a little bit, and next thing you know, the door's wide open, and you don't even know what happened.
Casey wouldn't do anything like that.
No, not to me. Usually, I haven't been lucky enough to put up a fight with them, but I got into the back of them once in a heat race last year, and I've never been so scared in my life. I was like, oh my God. I'm like, this guy sets up my car, and he's the one that's got me into this. And I just planted him in the corner, and we went down the backstretch, and he put his hand out the window and waved, and I let off and let him go because I thought he was mad. We come in the pits, and he was like, what? You ran into me. I thought you had something for me. I was ready to play. I'm like, I ran into him. I was like, oh my God, I'm dead. And I just let off and let him go.
I read an interview with you last year where you said you couldn't wait to plant a tire on his door. Did you ever get that chance yet?
No, I haven't. No, I don't know if we'll ever really get that chance. But the opener, we started right behind each other, and like this year, he goes, stay on my bumper. He's like, we're going to the front. And I'm like, yeah, I was already excited because, I all qualified him. at the opener, and it was exciting for me because it was like my first one-up I got on him, but I guess it doesn't really count because he showed up 5 minutes before qualifying and just went out and let it have it.
Oh, he pulled a
couldn't
trickle.
stay hooked to him. Yeah, he did. Pulled the trickle. But I couldn't stay with him. We got a little gap. The car got between us, and, you know, he's just so good. It's insane. Like, we'll sit in the shop, and I learned so much from him just talking about how to run a line, how not to, and he'll get on the radio sometimes in practice, and I'll pick up just a couple tenths just by him talking to me. You know, that's another thing. Learn a lot from them guys that have a lot of laughs on that track.
Now, I also know that being a Team Dean's driver this year, talking with Drew Krabick and Matt Pannier, there could be a big 8 race or two on your schedule for the number 20 this year.
Yeah, I've been talking to Casey, and he asked me if I wanted to go to Rockford at the opener at the beginning of the year, and I was like, no, there ain't no way. I'm like, we just got this car done, and I'm like, Rockford's not the thing. But towards the end of the year, if everything goes right, we're going to look to try to run Lacrosse and a couple maybe the other ones. I know we're going to try to do the Badgerland Challenge too, but
oh, nice.
The Big Eight's a pretty big jump. You know, I mean, as far as between what Casey and I have talked about, you know, got to get better at Jefferson and, you know, try to consistently be in the top 5 before we venture off. But I'm thinking towards the end of the year we're going to show up at a couple.
So do you get to travel around with him when he hits other tracks with the Big 8 or the Midwest Tour, whatever tour he's in? Do you get to travel around with him and learn, you know, what it takes to get through around them other tracks?
Yeah, I mean, Casey and I went to school together, and, you know, we've been best friends since we were about 14, and I've gone just about everywhere with him since he started in a late model, and I got my little glimpse of my spotting career started with him, and I kind of got thrown in the fire one day at Rockford. He's like, you know how to spot? I said, well, kind of, I guess. And he's like, well, cool, here's the radio. You got to spot for me at Rockford. And I was like, you know, I've never been more stressed out. I'm more calm before a race than I was that day. And we did good, stayed out of trouble. And then, yeah, I followed him around all the way up until I got into the late models heavy. I was spotting for him, you know, probably 10, 15 times a year and going everywhere with him. And, you know, you learn a lot about, like you said, going to all them other tracks, learning how to run them and how to set the car up and all the different adjustments. I just wish I, you know, knew what I know now when I was 20. I think I would have been a lot faster, a lot sooner.
You're listening to the Cool Gold Race Report on 1460 WBOG. We got Team Dean's driver Cody Hubert with us. Cody, besides Team Dean's, who else is helping you out sponsor-wise this year?
Well, Casey Johnson and his dad are probably the biggest help I have. Last year we wrecked a car, and I ended up putting my motor and tranny in one of his chassis this year, and that sits at his shop, and he helps me go through it and all that. So the Johnson Geometry is definitely the biggest sponsor I got. And then along with Team Dean's, we got Lake Ripley Lanes, the local bowling alley in Cambridge here, my hometown. I got Step Up Ceilings, Avon Dairy Products, Up Off Trucking, Rock River Marina and Motorsports out of Newville, and Miller's Sales and Service of Random Lake.
Hey, you know, living in Cambridge there, once Matt Kenseth closes up his museum, maybe you can get yourself one of his super late models on the cheap.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. If they're just going to push them out in the road and have an auction or not. Let's see what we can do.
Hopefully it happens, because I need to stock up on some memorabilia. That's late model driver, the number 20, Cody Hubert, out of Cambridge, Wisconsin. He's with the Jefferson late model division this year. Hopefully we see him at a stop or two in October at Lacrosse before and possibly during Oktoberfest. And he's also a very important Team Dean's driver in 2017. Cody, it's been a pleasure talking to you, man, and good luck at Jefferson. And maybe we'll see you at Lacrosse down the road.
Yeah, you'll definitely see me at Lacrosse, and thanks for having me, guys.
All right, it's Cody Hubert on the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report, one of our Team Dean's drivers. More of the program is next to come. Alex Prunty, Vernon Bravo Race Report, and more right here at 1460 WBOG.
Spring spring, spring, spring. Now that it's spring, no one wants to sit inside and watch TV with it so beautiful outside. And when you get DirecTV through Dean's Satellite and Security, you don't have to. You can now take your TV with you into the great outdoors with the free mobile app from DirecTV. Going on a picnic? Take your TV with you. Sitting by the lake? Don't miss your favorite show. It's really that simple. Call your local friends at Dean's Satellite and Security today at 608-269-2897 or visit them online at deanstv.com. Now get outside and watch your TV. Content, channels, and functionality varies by TV package, viewing location, and device. Data charges may apply. Conditions apply. Call for details.
Come on in. Welcome to JT's Long Shots in West Salem. We're Tricia and Jim.
It's your new sports bar for watching all your favorite sports. Happy hour Monday through Friday, 3 to 7, with $1.75 domestics and rails. For lunch or dinner, the kitchen is open. Half-price burgers on Mondays. Tuesday, it's bone or boneless wings. Fish tacos on Friday. Stop after the races tonight to hear live music. It's Joe Cody from 8 to midnight.
Jim and I'd love to see you at JT's Long Shots Sports Bar, downtown West Salem.
Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin. A proud supporter of the local racing, celebrating 20 years in the racing industry. From dirt tracks to asphalt, Weir's Machine manufactures over 400 quality parts that racers rely on to win races, producing some of the finest parts in the industry. Engine parts, tools, suspension parts, race accessories. Head to WeirsMachine.com to browse their entire line or call them direct. Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin.
It's the Abbott and Costello of short track racing. Doc and Dan on Cool Gold 1460.
Welcome back, Billy Doc Niles, Radio Man Dan. It is the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report here on 1460 WBOG. Slinger Memorial Weekend, super late model win went to Dennis Prunty. That was his first feature win of the year at Slinger in his first appearance there. Alex Prunty had a chance to talk with Paul Reichert here a couple of weeks ago, and Alex has kind of made himself a name for himself in the state.
Oh, the Prunty name is pretty big over on the East Coast, especially around the Slinger area. And when they venture out, they definitely have something to say with the outcome of a feature. And here's what Alex had to say to our boy Paul.
Right now we're here actually with the reigning, last year's champion in the Quickie Driver Development Program. And that, of course, is Alex Prunty. Alex, thanks for the time.
Absolutely.
Now, let's recap here the racing. Actually, let's recap your rise up here to the Super Late Round ranks. How where you've raced, how far you've come here over the course of your career.
So growing up as a kid, I worked on all my uncle's cars, racing modifieds and super lates, and I was able to grow up in kind of the peak when I had the three uncles always, teaching me and encouraging me to learn. And it's just a real humbling experience to be able to start, from the ground up and being able to learn, anything from measuring tires to setting caster camber, and now all of a sudden bigger and, huge setup stuff. And so anyway, when David started backing out of racing and retired in 2009, I got my first four-cylinder from Porta-John, who told us that if we could fix the car, they'd let me race it for the year. So my first car was a free deal from Porta-John. And that's kind of all started. I won my first race and I think my sixth race. And from there, I just was hooked. And we went on to win, I think, 7 races that first year. And I finished second or third in the point standings. And the second year in that, in 2010, we won a championship, winning another 7 races. And after that, it was one of those deals where you wanted to keep continuing to push yourself. The four-cylinders weren't quite as challenging as what they were when we started. And so we ended up getting a deal with my Uncle Dennis and Wiedemeyer Express. And Pete Wiedemeyer donated what was Dennis's first ever Super Late that Pete had bought. And he had crashed it, totaled it at the opener, I want to say 2008, and it just kind of sat in the shed. And once again, it was one of those deals where if you can fix it, you can drive it. Yeah. And so Pete Wiedemeyer was the one who really got me started with the late model stuff. And I'll never forget, first ever time driving a late model is so different. You go from having 120 horsepower in a four-cylinder all of a sudden to, 450 in a limited late. And it's just one of the most exciting experiences that I had ever had, and having the support of all my uncles and my dad behind me, we were able to start with a really good setup. And by mid-season, we were already, competitive. And the first couple weeks, my dad wouldn't even let me run new tires. He was making me run our competitors' old tires. And I finally finished 5th in one, and he said, all right, now you're good, and you can start buying tires. And on our second week on new tires, actually buying tires, I won my first ever feature. So, I mean, it was once we got that one in, you prove you can do it, you get the first one out of the way, then we won the season closer. So we won 2 features my first year in the limited late. And from that point on, supers were always kind of in the back of your head, but it's so expensive to run the super lates, and I didn't have the funding. It was one of those deals where when I started with that Porta-John car, my dad told me, if you're going to get into racing, I'm not paying for it, you are. So a 16-year-old kid trying to find funding to do all this, and I've had unbelievable support from the Paul Riley Company and Stone Mountain Access Systems, and even Moraine Park Technical College has just been so instrumental in helping me develop my marketing focus. And we have so many sponsors that make this whole deal possible. And finally, I met one of the Kawicki Driver Development Program board members, and at this point we had won over 20 races in a limited late, and he started pushing me, that maybe we should be doing something bigger, maybe we should try going super late racing. And to that point, I had never had funding to even think about doing it. It's one of those deals where, sorry, not going to happen. I don't have $50,000 a year to go race a super late. And it wasn't until the Kawicki program really pushed me to get off and do that it kind of sank into a reality where we finally made it into the Kawicki Driver Development Program in the first year in a super late. So to be able to have the year like we had last year, where I think we finished second 7 times, we were able to bust out for 2 wins in that first full-time year of super lates, was just a real tribute to the dedication that the family has had in teaching me how to do everything, and even the dedication that they've helped put in this car, getting it fast. And it's one of those deals where you're forever grateful to everybody that's helped get you here, and you never forget who got you here.
And what would you say to people, drivers that are thinking about doing the Kawicki Driver Development Program here, thinking that this might really help jumpstart their careers like it did with Steve Apel, like with you, and now with Brazen Bennett here? What would you say to them if they want to get involved with this?
If you don't think that you can do this, you're in the wrong place, because you got to have that mentality where if you don't believe, you don't belong. And that's one thing that the family's kind of pushed and pounded in my head, that I can be here, I can do this, and lo and behold, here we are. And it's just 99% of everything you do in a race car is believing you can do it. Because if you go out on the track and say, I'm just hoping to kind of finish 5th, that's probably the best you're going to do, And it's one of those things where you have to strive to be better every single week, and that was one thing that we really seen the benefits of, was every week I was trying to get better, trying to learn, trying to listen, my Uncle David trying to preach to me how to drive this place, and it's just been really fun coming up the ranks, and the fun part is getting to the top, and we're not quite to the top yet. I got a long ways to go, but it's still fun to look back and see how far we've come.
Oh yes, and definitely that championship out at the end of last season between you and Steve and Chris was definitely nailed by right down to the wire, with all 3 of you finishing right together. That was a pretty exciting end to the season last year.
Yeah, that was one of those deals where I had to win or finish second. So there's 2 battles on the track where me versus Uncle Dennis, he's leading the race. I have to pass him to win a championship. So that's one battle. Yeah. And the second battle is them guys have to finish 6th or worse. So I'm praying to God they're going to run into each other. And if you were here for that, you see they were smashing and crashing each other. It was a hell of a show. And I was following Dennis for second, hoping, if they crash, knowing I got to go. I was saving my tires. And it didn't work out, but we came damn close to our first ever championship first year. And, when you look at the competitiveness of this division last year, finishing 3rd in your first year, when basically I would say the first 3 weeks were throwaway weeks for me. Just trying to get comfortable in a car, going twice as fast as what you were in a limited late. There's nothing close to the same about a limited late to a super late. So like I said, it took a lot of work to get us to this point. We're not quite done yet, but it's been a hell of a time.
And of course, I remember I was here for the Slinger Nationals last year, and that little battle that happened in the qualifying race between you and Uncle Dennis. Tell us about that.
What better time to pass your uncle for the first time ever under green flag circumstances at the Slinger Nationals, huh? Unfortunately, we had such a great race to get in, and we made, first time ever trying to get in the Nationals, we made it in. Unfortunately, we broke a suspension component like lap 10, and that ended our night really extremely early, but we got a really good piece again this year, and we made some upgrades thanks to the check from the Kawicki program, and there is no excuse that I shouldn't be performing with the equipment that we have.
Well, we certainly hope for some great things from you here in the next few years. Alex, thanks again for the time. We really appreciate it.
Thank you, Paul.
Thank you, Paul, and thanks, Alex Prunty, for joining us on the program. Again, Dennis Prunty held off Steve Apel and Gary Lamont to pick up his first feature win of the year at Slinger in his first appearance during Memorial Weekend. Late model win, I should say, went to Jack Stern, Midwest Sportsman, Ryan Gutnick, of course, remember announcing his name back in the day at the 141 Speedway when it used to be an asphalt track. Tam Barons won the Slinger Super Bees, and the Slinger Bees went to Paul Regals. You know, talking about bees, Queen Bees across Speedway, Chuck told us we'll be rescheduled.
Yeah, he will be rescheduling at some point.
But we don't know when.
We don't know when, but he will get a shot to reschedule him at some point this summer.
Talking about the La Crosse Speedway coming up tonight, we are looking at a great night. It's Ultra Federal Credit Union night tonight. A lot of drivers will be represented, taking pictures and autographs with their team up in Turn 1. Late model, Sportsman, Thunderstock, Street Stocks for the first time this year, believe it or not. Second time, we've had more kids rides than we've had street stock races.
That's impressive.
2 20-lap late model features tonight. Free collector's magnet to the first 500 fans. Not sure if Majeski's going to be here tonight or not, but that could be kind of interesting. We're going to hear more about results. Paul Reichert is going to rejoin us here in the next segment with his Burnin' Rubber Race Report for Bill Doc Niles. I'm Dan Dyker. This is WVOG.
Hurry, it's easy to stop. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. You're gonna like the things we've got. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. It's easy to see when you're on the go. There's only one name you need to know.
Baraboo, Black River Falls, Nakusa, Toma, Wittenberg.
Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
Jerry Beyer here, and I'm pleased to announce that we have opened a new location. Now you'll find our Big Boar Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and July Street every Wednesday through Sunday. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout.
And just come on down for the best food in town at Big Boar Barbecue.
Big Boar Barbecue, that's a mouthful.
For the best family entertainment value in the Dells area, look no further than Dells Raceway Park. Kids 9 and under are always free. Exciting stock car racing every Saturday night where the stars of tomorrow are racing today in late models, modified, sportsman, bandits, and more. Check the schedule online at DellsRacewayPark.com. Take a free tour of the pits and a lap around the track on race night in DRP's trolley car. Gates open at 4, qualifying at 5:30, green flag racing at 7. Don't miss the excitement every Saturday night at Dells Raceway Park, where the best in the Midwest race.
Spring, spring, spring. Now that it's spring, no one wants to sit inside and watch TV with it so beautiful outside. And when you get DirecTV through Dean's Satellite and Security, you don't have to. You can now take your TV with you into the great outdoors with the free mobile app from DirecTV. Going on a picnic? Take your TV with you. Sitting by the lake? Don't miss your favorite show. It's really that simple. Call your local friends at Dean's Satellite and Security today at 608-269-2897 or visit them online at deanstv.com. Now get outside and watch your TV. Content, channels, and functionality varies by TV package, viewing location, and device. Data charges may apply. Conditions apply. Call for details.
Get ready. It's the Days Inn Burnin' Rubber Race Report with Paul Reichert. Brought to you by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. Now here's Paul with this week's report.
Hi there, race fans. Paul Reichert here with the Burnin' Rubber Race Report. Coming up after the break, we have a lot of results to cover from the past holiday week of racing, including a busy week for the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, Ty Majeski's awesome weekend through the state of Wisconsin, including a surprise win, and a couple of the other Memorial Day traditions happening, the Lowell 500 at Anderson, Indiana last weekend, as well as the newer tradition, the Dick Trickle Memorial Golden Sands. All that and much more on the Burnin' Rubber Race Report coming up next.
Are you looking for comfort under the sun? You can find that and a whole lot more with your stay at the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. The Days Inn has 148 spacious rooms, an indoor pool, hot tub, fitness room, and plenty of banquet space to host that big meeting or wedding reception. If you're hungry, food and drink are just steps away at the Heroes Bar and Grill inside the hotel. So if you're planning a pool party, wedding reception, or just want a night away in a jacuzzi suite, Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island is your stop under the sun.
Hello there, race fans. Paul Reichert back with you for the Burnin' Rubber Race Report presented by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center. Let's check out the racing action that happened over the holiday week this past week. We'll start with the Lucas Oil Late Model Dirt Series, a busy week for them. Tuesday, they were at I-80 Speedway in Greenwood, Nebraska. Scott Bloomquist claimed the win. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday, they spent the weekend at Lucas Oil Speedway in Wheatland, Missouri for the Show Me 100. Earl Pearson Jr. won the preliminary feature Thursday night. Tim McCready won the preliminary feature on Friday night. The big A main, though, had to wait until Sunday to get in. But it didn't matter to Bobby Pierce as he won the A main of the Show Me 100. On Wednesday, the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars were at New Egypt, New Jersey. David Gravel took the win. Thursday at Wisconsin International Raceway, Travis Sauter won the super late model feature and Tim Springstro won the late model feature. On Friday at Hawkeye Downs, Caleb Adrian won the late model feature. Madison finally got their season open. Jerry Miller won the NASCAR late model feature. At the Norway Speedway up in Dayupia, they got their season started and Joey Pontbrand won the super late model feature. At State Park Speedway in Wausau, Mike Litchfeld, Quattro, claimed the super late model win. Brock Heinrich won the late model feature. He's a rookie this year, by the way. All-Star Circuit of Champions were at Attica, Ohio. Byron Reed took the win. Brand new Dirt Late Model Series here in Wisconsin kicking off at Oshkosh Friday night. The Dirt Kings Late Model Tour. Mitch McGrath won the inaugural race there at Oshkosh. The USAC Silver Crown Series and the Mid-American Stock Car Series both were at Lucas Oil Raceway in Brownsburg, Indiana. That's IRP to you purists out there. Cody Swanson won the USAC Silver Crown Series race, and the Mid-American Stock Car Series feature was won by our very own Dan Gilster. The United States Modified Touring Series was in our neck of the woods this past weekend. Friday at Mississippi Thunder Speedway up in Fountain City, Ryan Gustin took that win. Saturday they visited Deer Creek. Cade Dillard won the race. And on Sunday they were down at Upper Iowa Speedway in Decorah. Jason Hughes took the win. The Wasota Challenge Series late models opened their season Friday at I-94 Speedway in Fergus Falls, Minnesota. Steve Larson the winner. And on Saturday they were in Alexandria, Minnesota at Viking Speedway. Don Shaw took the win. The World of Outlaw late models ran at Atomic Speedway in Chillicothe, Ohio, and Devin Moran, Donnie's kid, won the race. Logan Schuchart won the World of Outlaw sprint car feature at the dirt track at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Moving on to Saturday at Cedar Lake, USRA late models were the headliners. Justin Sass took the win. Nick Nolan won the late model feature at the Dells. The modifieds were also on hand. Bill Tandetsky took the win. Ian Matson won the 410 sprint feature at Knoxville. Driver X John Reynolds Jr. won the NASCAR late model feature at Rockford. At Shawano, Josh Moesh claimed his first ever late model feature win, and Matt Oroskovich won the IMCA modified feature. AMA Pro Motocross ran at Glen Helen Raceway Park in San Bernardino, California. 450 motos were split between Marvin Muskane and Jason Anderson. Muskane scored the overall win. The ARCA Midwest Tour beat the rain at Jefferson Saturday night, got the show in. Ty Majeski claimed his win. The ARCA Gold Cup Outlaw Super Late Models were at Flat Rock, Michigan. Justin Schroeder the winner. The International Super Modifieds Association was at Oswego, New York to kick off their season. Chris Purley the winner. IRA Sprints were up north at ABC Raceway in Ashland. Billy Baylog the winner. The N.E. Smith late models were at Why Not Motorsports Park in Meridian, Mississippi. Kyle Bronson took the win. The Sunshine State Challenge Series ran at DeSoto Speedway in Bradenton, Florida. Yet another win for Jesse Dutilly. And a big sprint car event, the 69th running of the Little 500 taking place on the quarter mile at Anderson, Indiana Saturday night. Kyle Hamilton claimed the win. Tony Stewart was on hand for that race and finished third. On Sunday at Slinger, it was Dennis Prunty claiming the super late model feature win. Ryan Gutnecht won the late model feature. At Thomas Sparta Raceway, Paul Brown won his third straight modified feature. And, of course, we did have racing on the holiday on Monday. At Golden Sands, we had the Dick Trickle Memorial race taking place. Ty Majeski won the race, and Team Trickle claimed the overall title. Also on hand at Golden Sands, the Midwest Truck Series. How about this? Ty Majeski stepped into Kelly Byers' truck, first ever time in the trucks, and won the feature, 50-lap feature. How about that? Wisconsin Sport Trucks also on hand. Drew Haybeck claimed the win, and Darryl Posh won the first Upper Midwest Vintage Series feature of the season. IMCA Deary Brothers Late Model Series visited Boone, Iowa. Jesse Sobbing claimed the win. The IMCA Hawkeye Dirt Tour Modified Series ran at Benton County Speedway in Benton, Iowa. Jimmy Gustin the winner. And the World of Outlaw Sprint Cars spent their holiday at Lawrenceburg, Indiana on Monday. Shane Stewart claimed the win. And that'll do it for this edition of the Burning Rubber Race Report presented by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center. I'm Paul Reichert, and we'll talk to you next week, folks.
That's the Days Inn Burnin' Rubber Race Report with Paul Reichert, brought to you by the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse.
In a hurry, it's easy to stop. Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop. You're gonna like the things we've got. Whitetail Crossing
Caribou, Black River Falls, Nakusa, Toma, Wittenberg.
Whitetail Crossing and Smoke Shop.
Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin. A proud supporter of the local racing, celebrating 20 years in the racing industry. From dirt tracks to asphalt, Weir's Machine manufactures over 400 quality parts that racers rely on to win races, producing some of the finest parts in the industry. Engine parts, tools, suspension parts, race accessories. Head to WeirsMachine.com to browse their entire line or call them direct. Weir's Machine and Racing Products, Bangor, Wisconsin.
You don't have to fly to Kansas City to get great barbecue.
Jerry Beyer here, and I'm pleased to announce that we have opened a new location. Now you'll find our Big Bore Cook Shack parked on the corner of George and July Street every Wednesday through Sunday. So come on over and sink your teeth into the barbecue voted best in La Crosse County. Don't forget takeout.
And just come on down for the best food in town at Big Bore Barbecue.
Big Bore Barbecue, that's a mouthful.
For the best family entertainment value in the Dells area, look no further than Dells Raceway Park. Kids 9 and under are always free. Exciting stock car racing every Saturday night where the stars of tomorrow are racing today in late models, modified, sportsman, bandits, and more. Check the schedule online at DellsRacewayPark.com. Take a free tour of the pits and a lap around the track on race night in DRP's trolley car. Gates open at 4, qualifying at 5:30, green flag racing at 7. Don't miss the excitement every Saturday night at Dells Raceway Park. We're the best in the Midwest race.
Just 4 left turns to go. It's the last lap on the Whitetail Crossing Race Report on 1460 WBOG.
Welcome back one more time. The Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report here on 1460 WBOG. You know, Harley Jankowski and I were coming back from Golden Sands on Monday, and I stopped in a Whitetail Crossing in Toma. If you ever like some good smoked string cheese, they have it.
Oh, they got everything you need there, and affordable prices, too. That's why people go there.
That was good stuff. So he's eating sausage, and I'm eating cheese, and we're kind of swapping it there in the front seat.
You know what I found? Some of them are just conveniently placed right next to a casino, so that's awesome.
Right. Actually, it is. The cooler's right next to the door to go into the casino.
I got to love it.
Also, as we were recapping, I do want to congratulate again Ty Majeski. Picked up his first ever Midwest Truck Series win. Their series goes back to MIS in the Midwest Engine Service 30 on Friday night, June 2nd. Triple Crown Challenge Series for the super late models, so congratulations. James Swan is the point leader for the trucks. Kevin Kinesi 1 point back. Tommy Picaro 29 back. Did you realize Ty Majeski is now 19th in points? Kelly Byers is 15th in points. And if they were able to combine those, Majeski will be in third. Isn't that something
I don't
different?
think they do that anymore. I'd heard a few years ago that one track tried to do that, where you could do a combination driver and the points would go to the car instead of the drivers. I don't know how well that worked out. I don't think they're doing it anymore either. That
was, again, a really, really good 50-lap race for those that missed that truck race. Whether Ty walked away with it or not, I mean, that was an outstanding race. Toma was in action last Sunday. They did get a race in. Hornets went to Rob Stanfield. Pro Hornet feature, Chris Tolliver. V8 stock feature went to Tom Farham. He had a nice little burnout parked against the front straightaway wall after he won that thing. Mitch Lydon appears at Toma. He wins the Sportsman, and our good friend Paul Brown took home Thunder Modifieds. There is a slight chance of the R word tonight. It better not, because we've got 2 late model features coming down.
Oh yes, and it's like I tell you every time there's this little chance. Keep an eye on your social media. It's La Crosse Speedway is good at this, and all the other places. Jefferson,
Rained.com.
Rained.com is good. Jefferson, Rockford, the Dells, Marshfield, Elko, everybody just keep an eye on your social media. Also, Facebook, Twitter, rainout.com.
Twitter is at LAX Speedway. Add yourself.
Yep, add yourself, and just keep an eye on that. They will keep you up to date on what's going on.
Again, tonight is 2 20-lap late model feature races for the late models at La Crosse Speedway. Sportsmen are back. Thunder stocks are back. Street stocks, we've been hyping them up all year because I've heard the numbers are going to start at maybe around 30 and upwards of maybe 60 by the end of the year, and they have not yet been to go out. Kids Rides were on our second one of the year, and a free collector's magnet to the first 500 fans. I saw the magnets last week. They're pretty cool. They will fit nicely on your refrigerator.
I don't have any room on my refrigerator. I'd have to make room for this.
What about your camper?
I ain't got one yet.
Oh, no. I thought you had one last year.
I rent a camper from my friends.
Oh, his scamming contract ran out. Now he's going to try to butter somebody else up, right?
That's not funny.
I like being correct sometimes. All right, and Billy Doc Niles and I, Paul Butterfield, that's a dirt track. How about Paul Reichert?
Paul Reichert, buddy.
Are going to keep bringing you interviews constantly the entire season. So far, we've had over 50, and we've not even gone a full month of the program.
Well, yeah, and we got to thank our buddy Jesse here, our producer, engineer. What a great job he does making us sound good every week.
And, of course, our sponsors. I have not been to JT's after a race night yet, and I want to. I want to go tonight, because I want to get some of Bill's Parmesan garlic wings. For Billy Doc Niles and Jesse, I'm Radio Man Dan. Hopefully we can see you at the La Crosse Speedway tonight. 220-lap late model features coming your way. And want more information? Like us on our Facebook page, Whitetail Crossing Race Report, exclusively heard on 1460 WBOG.
There's the checkered flag. Join us again next week for the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Store Race Report on Cool Gold 1460, brought to you by Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores in Baraboo, Black River Falls, and Toma. By Big Boar Barbecue, Highway 16 West Salem, and 3rd Street, downtown La Crosse. By Dean Satellite and Security, your local DirecTV retailer. By the Days Inn Hotel and Conference Center on French Island, La Crosse. By Dell's Raceway Park in Wisconsin Dells. By Weir's Machine and Racing Products in Bangor, Wisconsin. And by TJ's Long Shots Grill and Saloon in historic downtown West Salem. Join us next week at this same time for the Whitetail Crossing Convenience Stores Race Report on Cool Gold 1460 WBOG.